Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new F1 2020 video. Today I'm back with another league race. Today around China in ORL season 14. I think it's round 5 or 6. I think round 5. Round 4 was my first race in ORL. I didn't do the first 3 races. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm heading out on the mediums, as you can see, as rain is expected towards the end of the race. So I kinda want to start on the hard compound, so I can make it until the rain hits basically, and I don't have to pit before that. Quite a lot of people on the softs as well. I'm aiming of course for P11, so I can still choose my own tires and select the hard compound basically. So now on my outlap, I went out quite late. I think I'm the latest of the group, so that's gonna be interesting. As you can see me adjusting some of the graphic settings. I was struggling a little bit with frame drops. I got a new PC now. I got a complete new rig setup or sim setup, so I probably won't have this issue anymore by the time I do my next league race. So yeah, it's been quite a bit getting used to it, but I'm getting more comfortable every lap I do.
Okay, it was just other thing.
As you can hear me say, I was trying to figure out why I was getting frame drops. So yeah, I think I'm the last one on the start of this outlap, but we should be fine as the last sector.
The last sector is 35 seconds, so I have 18 seconds spare. But a lot of cars in the last sector at the moment, so.
As you can hear me say, last sector is 35 seconds more or less, so I have 80 seconds spare, but as you can see it's piling up in the last sector already. So I'm gonna make sure to warm up my tires enough and try to overtake some cars here, because simply if I stay behind...
They crashed! Holy shit.
Yes, 2 people crashed actually in that mayhem. So by now I don't have a lot of time left because we've lost so much time.
Go.
Sure, quite a lot of mayhem as you can see. Over the line I have 3 seconds left. So the last sector was 15 seconds slower than a full push lap, just because everyone's piling up in the end. I did put a very slow lap in on the softs, but as you can see Alvaro Carreton on the softs because he's trying to get P11 probably as well. Same for Fabrizio Donoso behind me on softs as well. He probably doesn't want to start on softs, but he's just trying to get P11. It's gonna be very tough. I don't have an engineer, so I don't know what the lap time for P11 is gonna be, and I just have to keep pushing because Fabrizio Donoso is behind me as well. So going through this middle sector, you can see half a second down on my soft banker basically. I feel like one mistake I made is that I slowed down just before the line, so I couldn't really see what lap time I was gonna do. As Patrick Crouch, I think so, sets the fastest lap. It's quite hard to see from me at the moment. But yeah, Fabrizio Donoso stuck behind me. He doesn't probably want to go a lot faster anyway, because he doesn't want to start in P10. So he's probably just chilling behind me and not trying to overtake me, as it will ruin us both. So yeah, this lap is not very stressful, not really a lot of pressure on. I just don't want to invalidate and start last. I just want to get a solid lap in and try to get in P11. Which most likely isn't gonna happen, of course, as it's gonna be very close from P11 to P20. But going through the last corner, decent lap, and you can see across the line. I braked last moment because I felt like I was going to shoot into the top 10, which is not what I wanted, because I want to start in hards. But looking back at it, I was half a second off P10, so I probably should have just kept it flat out and I would have been like P16, P15. But anyway, I'm starting P18 on the hards. There's probably a little bit more in there, but I know my pace around China and the race is really good. So no stress yet. I could have been 7 places higher. That would have been perfect, P11. But it's not that easy, of course, as well, it's very close. I didn't know what the cutoff was going to be from P10 to P11, what the lap time was going to be. So it's hard, of course, starting P18, and I can fight from here definitely for the win. I feel like. Pole was a 128.579. F1 Esports pole was by me, which was a 128.160. So it's gonna be interesting, definitely, with the rain hitting really late into the race. So yeah, let's head into the race. So yeah, as you can see there, starting on hard, moving on to mediums later, you can see the rain is hitting very late on the weather prediction. It should be like the last 3 laps. But you never know, as Codemasters is very, very imprecise with the weather prediction, which I hope will be improved for next game. As with this system, it comes more down to luck than actually skill or knowing what to do with the strategy, if you know what I mean. But anyway, it's not up to me, so I hope that it will change for next game. But yeah, let's head into the race now. Starting on hard. Gonna have to do quite some overtaking, as I have to at least overtake 7 cars to get into P1 of the hard runners. You can see some people on mediums at the moment. I expect them to change last moment, but it seems like Fabricio Donoso is gonna start on mediums. So that's gonna be interesting, but let's head into the race now. So lining up onto the grid now, I'm starting P17, not P18 as I said before. For some reason I thought I finished P18 and had qualifying, but starting P17 behind Alvaro Carreton, the Williams F1 Esports driver. It's going to be a tough race. Alvaro really good around China usually, so it's going to be interesting. We'll try and follow him for the first part of the race. So it's 5 red lights. And away we go. Quite decent start. You can see CRG Atta get a slightly better start. Most people around me got a little bit better start, but it wasn't too bad. Didn't lose any position so far. So going into turn 1 around the outside of Alvaro Carreton, as 3 wide is a little bit too much probably around here. But going into turn 2 now then, on the inside of Alvaro Carreton. Still haven't lost the position, as it's very tight. You can see him backhand getting away from me there on the curb. Still trying to find a way past Alvaro Carreton around the outside in the hairpin maybe, but he had the more grippier line on the inside. So still haven't managed to do anything. Still on P17, haven't lost the position, haven't gained one. Trying to go around the outside of Alvaro Carreton, which turns to the inside here on this right-hander. But then in this double left-hander, he was stuck behind CRG Atte. And I managed to go around the outside. We go side by side through here. And somehow we managed to both fit through there, as again he goes down to my inside for this left-hander, and then for the right-hander I have the inside. So mega battle there with Alvaro Carreton, gave each other just enough room. Great racing, and now we are just behind CRG Atte in the Alpha Tauri. So now going into the hairpin, it doesn't seem like we could do anything. I turned my overtake off a little bit earlier, as usually people use so much overtake in the first lap that you won't be able to overtake them anyway. So we might as well save it a little bit if you have a gap behind. As you can hear me complain about the dirty air in the last corner, which last corner is always very hard to get right anyway. So heading into turn 1 for the first time, gained 1 position on that opening lap. As you can see, Alessio Di Capua trying to have a look on Shanghai Clay in the Alfa Romeo. I think coming out of this corner, you can see Red Bull spun there. So that's up to P15, 2 position gains so far, which is good. Stayed out of trouble so far. Alessio Di Capua trying to get past Shanghai Clay again, but I think he ran a little bit deep, so Shanghai just managed to get back to him. They go side by side. Alessio almost spins, but so Shanghai managed to stay ahead. So yeah, I still have a lot of my battery for the opening laps. I haven't really had to defend from anyone, as Alvaro Carreton probably doing the same, but now I put an overtake as I saw CRG Atte making that mistake, and I decided to straight away go for it. It was the ideal moment, and up to P14 we go. So 3 positions gained in the first 2.5 laps. Not too bad, starting on this hard compound of tires, as most of me around. DRS is not even enabled yet. So
2 positions gained? No, 3. Where did I start? I think 3.
As you can hear me say, 3 positions gained. Very good start to the race so far. Now I need to gain 3 more to get first of the hard runners, as I think Fabricio Donoso is on mediums. So yeah, it's gonna be. I was really surprised by that move from him, starting on the mediums, as well, with the rain hitting, you want to try and stay out until then, unless it stays away too long. So that's going to be interesting as well, who pits for mediums of those hard runners and who stays out on the hards for as long as possible, because you can't stay out on the hards forever as well. As you can see me check tire wear, still looking good. And now I'm gonna have to try and overtake those people in this DRS terrain, which is usually the toughest thing to do. Because if everyone has DRS, you don't have any advantage from it, of course. So you just have to get past on pure driving.
Ah!
As I go slightly wide there on entry through the double left. Those hards are really tough. Usually have quite a bit of more understeer on the harder compound, especially on entry. And well, they're just hard to get into a rhythm with. Tire wear is of course really low, so once you get into a rhythm you're extremely fast, but it just takes a while. Now we move on to mid lap 5. You can see a lot of the soft runners have dropped off and they're losing a huge amount of time to the hard runners.
Things are about to get spicy.
Okay, as you can hear me say, the soft runners are dropping off and the hard runners, because of that, are getting a lot closer. And based on from the hard runners are all so equal that the battling is going to be absolutely insane. You can see I was basically running overtake for half the straight. Now going into the hairpin, unless you went wide or tried to have a look on the inside and then went wide to open up the hairpin, but he didn't realize that I was right behind him as well. And going into the last corner, we gained another position as Arsen gets into the pits to put on the hard compound, probably pits from softs. As going into turn 1, Alessio tries to attack me again, but I managed to stay ahead this time around. You can see he's trying to take a tighter line to try and get on my inside, but we managed to stay ahead. And now it's only Shanghai Clay and Shizu Andy on the hard compound ahead of me. I think there's one more soft runner in the top 3. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly who is where, but I do know Fabrizio Donoso is one of the only ones on the mediums, if not the only one. So it's going to be interesting to see what he goes on to, if he moves on to the hards or if he goes to the softs and tries to stick out on those mediums as long as possible. So now we move on to the end of lap 11. You can see everyone is still in the same position more or less, nothing really changed in this DRS terrain. And Andy has been quite quick so far on those hards. He's been the leader of this hard group runners basically for the whole race so far. And now he's gonna come into the pits.
Sorry, pitting? Fabrizio 6-second penalty. For what?
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
So Andy feels like his tires are not gonna last until the rain hits. And I mean, I don't blame him, because if the rain does come in the last 2 laps, then you might as well pit, because the hards won't make it anyway. So you can see Fabrizio Donoso 6 seconds penalty on the mediums. If you've got 6 seconds, your race is most likely a little bit ruined. You're not gonna win probably anymore. And yeah, I'm just gonna try and wait to see what the weather is gonna do, or what Jeff says the weather is gonna do. So I'm just gonna wait for that and see how it unfolds basically.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes. Dries seem like the fastest.
It just keeps changing it.
So as you just heard there, rain in 15 minutes, which is basically like 8 more laps more or less. A little bit more actually, it's 9 to 10 more laps, as it's a 1 minute 30 lap. So I thought, like, if it's gonna last 10 more laps, no hards won't make that, as that will be basically lap 25.
I'm gonna get out. I'm not gonna get out. He did. He's gonna get out as well. No, he didn't. Oh!
Yeah, so I felt like if the rain is gonna stay out for 10 more laps, then indeed it's only the last 3 laps, so I might as well pit and gain the advantage actually from the mediums. So yeah, you can see here Shizu get owned on the hards, quite old hards, so he's not gonna fight me too hard.
Don't have to get let me pass so easy, man. Appreciate it.
So yeah, he let me go really easily, doesn't want to battle. just wants to drive his own race. And yeah, so I felt like it was the right time to pit with the rain staying out for 10 more laps. Shanghai Clay did stay out on the hards for at least one more lap. Not sure what he's gonna do. Fabricio Donoso was still out as well on the mediums.
Atte is always really good to run this track. Shouldn't underestimate him.
So as you may hear me say there, CRG Attes are always really good around China. I think last overall race on F1 2019 he won around here, if I remember correct. Or maybe didn't win, but
So what is Shanghai gonna do? Stay out. Interesting. Wait for the rain.
Yeah, Shanghai is staying out still. Probably waiting for the rain to hit, but if it lasts 10 more laps then the hards probably won't make it and you will lose way too much time. I think so. So also the question is, if the rain does hit in 10 laps, will it actually transfer to intermediates or will we stay on slicks until the finish? So that's an interesting question. As CRG Atte puts the fast lap of the race, I decide to stay behind him for one more lap. As, he was pushing for the fastest lap, I think so. I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna use his DRS and then use my overtake for the fast lap of the race. So when the rain does hit early on,
Looks like rain is inbound, and we're expecting it in around 5 minutes. 5 minutes till the rain.
He just chased from
Seem like the best tyre for now.
15 to 5. What? That's a big difference, my guy.
so yeah, Jeff just changed from a rate to hit in 15 minutes to 5 minutes in the space of more or less 2 minutes. So yeah, not very accurate, as Atte is weaving, probably signaling, sorry, that I need to get past, or he wants me to get past, as I'm on 100% ERS as well. So I'm gonna put on the overtake and try to get past. Want to use as much fuel and ERS as possible before the rain hits, as it will be a lot less effective in the rain than in the dry. So I'm gonna move past CRG Atte now and hunt down Yifan Yuan, who's an old hards. Shizu Andy, of course, pitted very early for mediums in P9, but if the rain does hit in 5 minutes, our race is pretty much screwed. Because first of all, the people who went from soft to hards will have a major advantage, because the tires won't drop as much. And well, Shanaka and Fabricio are still out, didn't make a pit stop yet. They're gonna get such a huge advantage from basically pitting one lap less.
That internet connection doesn't look very stable, my guy.
So yeah, Yifan Yuan.
Some weather is going to hit in around 5 minutes time, so stay on your toes. Dry seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Yifan Yuan playing from China, quite big difference, of course, quite far away, I would say. So yeah, his ping is not ideal, probably being behind him right now. So
My god.
I need to be careful.
How is someone like this allowed to race?
I need to be careful when overtaking him that I don't lose my front wing from his car lagging back suddenly. So
Fucking hell.
luckily I have DRS and he doesn't, so it's gonna be a little bit of an easy, little bit more easy pass, I would say, than if he had DRS as well. So I'm gonna pull out of the slipstream as soon as possible, so I don't hit him by accident or lose my front wing. So going down the inside into hairpin, I think CRG Atte wants to get past ASAP as well. As you can see, the arrow actually disappeared for a brief moment there, so I think I pushed him a little bit under the grass by accident, because, well, I couldn't see his arrow, of course.
So Fabricio have a puncture.
The rain is a few laps out yet, but it is coming. Be careful. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
So yeah, Ben Zabel on the hards in front of me in P9. Shizu Andy just got past him as they go side by side through turn 1. Still Jeff being very imprecise on when the rain is gonna hit. The sky looks still pretty clear, not like it's gonna rain. So yeah, I just have to keep pushing as hard as possible. I probably won't need these tires in 3 lap times anymore, so I can absolutely destroy them and give everything I have in those laps.
Okay, now it's suddenly really dark.
Looks like rain is inbound, and we're expecting it in around 5 minutes. 5 minutes till the rain. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
Well, he's said 5 minutes to go around 6 minutes ago as well. So, not sure if that sentence makes sense, but anyway, we caught up to Ben Sabo on the hards. He managed to stick with Shizu Andy, who was on the mediums. Obviously, Shizu Andy being on quite a bit older tires than us, we're catching up quite fast. I'm going to use my overtake to try and get past Ben Sabo here. I'm not sure if he's going to battle this fight really hard. It seems like he's not, as he knows as well. New mediums versus old hards. I'm going to easily breeze past him. Especially when the rain hits, the mediums will have quite a big advantage, I think so. So now, right behind Shizu Andy, and I need to try and get past him.
It's already raining. I think so.
So I need to get past Shizu Andy as soon as possible. And past my teammate Patrick Crouch as well, who's in P6. Because if he pits on the ideal time just ahead of me, then I can't, because I will get held. And then I need to stay out one lap longer, which might cost me seconds, which in a 50% race is crucial. So
already losing grip. It's not raining on my screen. Maybe I'm just hallucinating, or however you call that.
So yeah, we'll try and get past Shizu Andy on this lap, and then my teammate Patrick Crouch on the other lap. I felt like I lost a little bit of grip already on that lap, but not sure, because it's very tough to see if there's raining or not. So yeah, Shizu Andy luckily is just about not gonna get DRS on this lap, so I can get past him on this lap by the use of DRS. As the DRS detection was just there on the white line mid corner. I still have quite a bit of ERS left, so I'm gonna use that now and should get an easy pass. You can see I could even turn off my overtake quite early on in the straight and use the slipstream to my advantage, going into the hairpin completely past of Shizu, or by Shizu Andy. And now I need to hunt down Patrick Crouch. As you can see, I turned on my overtake to try and get this DRS just on the line here, but I think I missed. Yeah, you can see there, didn't get DRS, which is not ideal of course, but by the time we reach the long straight again, we are definitely gonna be in 1 second, and we might get past him into the hairpin. You can see it's still very dark. Shanghai Clay still out on track on those hards, of course. He's gonna have a huge advantage by staying out if the rain does hit in the next 1 to 2 laps, because his hard tires will be destroyed as well, of course. So yeah, tough decision, of course. If the rain does stay another 4 or 5 laps away. As Jeff stopped updating me on the weather.
Oh, it's raining. Shit.
So yeah, Shanghai, you can hear me say...
Let's hope it stays 50-50 for as long as possible. It's the only thing I can hope for now, because otherwise Shanghai is going to win this race. It seems like it's getting wet really fast, so that's not nice for us. He's going to defend as hard as possible, of course.
So you can see now, I got up to the back of my teammate. He ran out of ERS. You can saw his red light flashing at the back of his car, so that means low deployment, and we get past him into the hairpin. You can see the grip is lowering so fast, but I felt like it wasn't ready at all for inters. But my teammate pits anyway, because probably if he stayed out another lap, he couldn't pit anymore.
Okay, so I'm definitely not going to win this race.
Because then I was going to stay ahead, of course, and he was going to get held in the pits by me. So
honestly, pitting might have been a correct decision.
Yeah, it was getting wet so fast that pitting was probably the best decision. If you saw my speed going through the last corner compared to going through turn 2, it was such a big difference. So yeah, at least we're on mediums, which are a lot better in these conditions than the hards. You can see I'm getting so much time to Pablo Joglar at the moment, and these are extremely tricky conditions, of course.
The DRS is not disabled yet, right? Or did I miss that? Holy shit, there's no grip.
DRS was disabled, but I just didn't see it. But yeah, on this lap alone, I already gained, I think, 1.7 seconds to Pablo Joglar on those old hards. We're struggling, you can see he goes wide. into the first corner of sector 3. You can see there DRS was disabled going into the last sector, so I was right, it wasn't disabled just yet, as CRG Patrick has a 5-second stop and go penalty, as you can see there. But I'm quite sure that I've gained absolute ton of time. I've lost a lot of time compared to my teammate, I was going to say, Patrick Crouch, who did pit for the intermediates, and it might have been the correct decision, to be honest. As you can see, I turned in a little bit too late because I thought Pablo Joglar was going to mess up that corner. So that was a small mistake, but I've gained so much to the hard runners on this lap. And going into the pits in P5, I selected the intermediates, of course. Now I just need to make sure that I don't speed into the pit lane, of course. Just behind Pablo Joglar. It's going to be a very...
that's a shame. I'm gonna get held as well. That's even more annoying. I didn't get held? Okay. Patrick Crouch got a huge undercut on me. 3 seconds, more or less.
So yeah, pitting 1 lap earlier was the right decision. You can see Patrick Crouch now 3.5 seconds ahead of me. So yeah, that was definitely the better decision to pit 1 lap earlier, as it was the second strategic mistake of this race. First one was not staying out on those hards, because they would have made it. Shanghai Clay is in the lead by quite a lot now, as he simply made 1 pit stop less than us. So now behind Pablo Joglar, I need to try and get past ASAP to hunt down my teammate Patrick Crouch for P4. So yeah, I have full battery, of course, as I just pitted, which makes it recharge quite a lot, around 40%. And I still had quite a bit of the, ERS going into the pits. So by the time I enter the long back straight, I will have 100% more or less. So I'm gonna attack Pablo Joglar ASAP, as I feel like I'm probably gonna be a lot faster in those wet conditions than him. So going through this long right-hander, it's always tricky, especially in dirty air and wet conditions. I'm gonna turn on my overtake and try to get past Pablo Joglar into the hairpin. You can see, I think he stopped using his overtake. He goes defensive, but not enough, and we go down the inside into the hairpin. Ahead of Pablo Joglar. You can see, I pushed him a little bit wide. I pushed him slightly onto the curb, which in those wet conditions makes you lose traction instantly. So a little bit of a cheeky move by me there, but that's all legal. I didn't push him off the track, I just pushed him a little bit onto the curb, which made him lose traction. As he goes down into turn 1, try to attack me, and of course try to get the inside here so he can overtake me, but we've got that covered off. Now I'm gonna hunt down my teammate Patrick Crouch.
Right, I think P4 is not completely off the board, out of chance. Gained almost 7 tenths and just on the last lap.
So as you can even say there, P4 is not out of chance, as I just gained 7 tenths on that last lap alone. You can see how much I gained to Pablo Joglar in just a few laps time. I'm by far the fastest out on track at the moment, as I'm literally gaining time to everyone at the moment. So pace is extremely good in those wet weather conditions. I don't have to worry about tire wear, of course, or fuel or ERS. I can just push as hard as I can, and in those tricky conditions I felt super comfortable. So yeah, it's going super well so far. Gained another 4 tenths in just 1 sector time, I think so.
He's too far away, I think so. We'll keep pushing in case he makes a mistake, of course.
So yeah, in 2 laps time I basically need to gain 1 second and get past him, which is gonna be extremely hard, of course. Patrick is an ex-F1 Esports driver for Mercedes, so he is not a bad driver at all. Just like everyone in this league, of course, as it's one of the highest profile leagues at the moment, overall. So no bad drivers in here, they're all super fast. So it's not going to be easy gaining 1 second in just 2 laps time. As you can see, I'm gaining all the time a little bit, as going to this left hand is 1.4 seconds now on this exit, and I still have quite a bit of ERS left. You can see I've just gained 6/10 in basically half a lap time, so we're regaining all the time, but I'm running out of time basically, as there's only 1.5 lap remaining. So I just have to keep pushing and hope he cracks under pressure and maybe makes a mistake in that last lap. As we're clearly faster than everyone. You can see the gap to Pablo Juglar is now 4 seconds, and we've only got past him 3 laps ago. Now we'll move on to the final 2 sectors of the race. You can see the gap has gone down to 7.5 tenths going into this hairpin. He hasn't made a mistake yet in this first sector, so we're just a lot faster. We're giving it our all. We still have 1 lap of fuel remaining, so we can just keep it in rich. Obviously I'm not going to do that because I need to cool the engine for the final straight as well. I still have 30% ERS remaining as well. Can't see how much he is on because the rear light is flashing all the time in wet weather conditions. So yeah, don't need to worry about Pablo Juglar, as he is 5.4 seconds behind now, and going into the last sector 6/10 only behind Patrick Crouch. But now this is basically the area where the dirty air is going to kick in and where it's going to get hard. Going through this long right hander, you can see the rear wants to step out, and you can see he made a small mistake on the exit there.
Not gonna have enough straight line speed, I think so.
That did cost him a little bit of momentum, but he had, I think, slightly too much ERS for me to have a go. So into hairpin, I tried to have a look and put him under pressure. He did went defensive, so he was a little bit scared that I was gonna send it, but I felt like I was too far away, and that was just gonna end in a crash. So in the end, just managed to not get P4, but it's P5 with the fastest lap, which means 11 points on the board. I think, of course, made the strategic mistakes. Pace was insane. You can see I finished, I think, 8 seconds of the lead, more or less 8.5 seconds. So yeah, the pit stop takes more than 20 seconds. I think around 22 to 23 seconds around this track. So yeah, the win was definitely in there. Pace on the intermediates, as you will see in a second, was insane. I was around 6 to 7 tenths faster than anyone else on those intermediates. So yeah, especially the wet stint was absolutely insane. But just strategic mistakes today. It's a little bit of a gamble, of course, with the weather, but still I think I could have done better. Especially when it started raining. I think staying that 1 lap extra out cost me a podium position, as it simply cost me 3 seconds. So yeah, definitely more was in there. Not completely happy with my strategic decisions, as I said, but the pace was good, like always around China. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Was definitely a very fun race. I think one of the best races I've had on F1 2020, entertainment wise, as I was consistently battling with other people. Not really a lot of dull moments. I was consistently in dirty air or fighting to close a gap or overtake someone. So that was just amazing. I had a lot of fun in this race with the changing weather conditions, fighting through the field. So thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more F1 2020 videos. And see you guys next time. Sorry, there was a 4-day between the 2 uploads. I had to change my rig. I'll make a video of my new rig as well. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and see you guys next time. Ciao.
Shanghai, I was doing 43.0. I was doing 42.4. 43.4. I did 42.4. Yeah. Domi did 42.6. Domi was quite fast actually. Alvaro did 43.5, so he was more than a second off the pace. So wet pace was good. Nothing else I could have done, I think so.